All right, let's get started. What I want to do is continue down this road of talking about shortages. Let's, like we always do, or like I always do, let's do a quick recap because I think it's important to continue to think about this whole training series of shortages because we talked about when we're dealing with shortages, what we're trying to really do is look at great ways to showcase and fulfill a need for certain supplements and really how it's about a solution based on some of the different shortages we've looked at. And if you remember, the big ones, the huge ones that we really spent a lot of time with is lack of time, being busy, lack of preparation, whether that's through nutrition or exercise or lack of knowledge, not knowing what is ideal when it comes to nutrition and even activity. So when we look at those things, it really sets up those key products. I mean, we've really focused in on what I would say are the most important supplements. And we talked about daily essentials. And remember, the buzzword there is plug nutrient gaps because we know that any shortage of nutrients, vitamins and minerals, can affect all things body related. Vitamins and minerals are essential for life. They're essential for optimal immune system, digestive health, recovery, metabolism, all those things. So if there's any gaps, whether it's through the types of foods we eat or the foods that don't have the nutrients that we ideally want to get out of it, and we're not eating balanced and we're missing out on certain things, it could have those negative effects that we don't want when we're talking about changing our body, whether it's through weight loss or building muscle. So right away, it's so important to make sure there's no gaps, and a high quality vitamin is going to plug those gaps and really is the product that everyone should be on. So we talked about that, and we also dug into building blocks protein. If you remember, it wasn't necessarily a shortage based on the fact that people are always short on protein. But if you remember, we looked at what experts said you need per grams of protein, and really it's maybe barely adequate enough for sedentary people is really what it came down to. So the buzzword there was make sure we're hitting that magic number daily in that formula of finding out the grams you need based on your weight and activity levels. So it's really about making sure that we don't have a shortage of protein because we know how important protein is for building up lean body mass, recovery, and repairing the muscle tissues that we're breaking down. So that was one of the things we talked about. The next one we talked about is meal replacement. We talk about the big gap of people not having enough time to eat 5 to 6 healthy, balanced meals and snacks a day, which we know is absolutely crucial to anyone's success, and then not being able to prepare or not taking the time to prepare. And a lot of that has to do with the next component, which is lack of knowledge of what you should be doing. That obviously is a great solution for ease and convenience of helping you hit those 5 to 6 meals in a day and increasing your success. If you remember that research that we looked at, upwards of 8 times more likely by having a shake a day to reaching your weight loss success. So what a great, easy conversation to have as part of the solution to plug some of those shortages that just about everyone has. And then the last one we talked about was the ultimate cleanse. And that was more of a view of, when we look at all these shortages we've talked about for these key 3 products, the daily essentials, the protein, and the meal, cleanse was kind of like the next nice and one because it's a full body cleanse. It's also driving a ton of nutrients in you. And it's cleaning up the body, cleaning up the lymphatic system, offering a real good kickstart solution, meaning that you're going to feel better, you're going to have energy, you're probably going to see a good amount of weight loss that first 7 to 10 days, and the added value is it's 2 shakes a day, so it's essentially 2 snacks, which helps with hitting that magic meal mark that we want to go after. Now, moving forward, the way I want to do this is, first of all, I want to get festive. So I did change out the slides because let's face it, it's Christmas time. It's holiday season. I mean, I love this time of year. This is my jam right here. I am a Christmas holiday just nut, I guess is the best way I can say it. I mean, when Thanksgiving's done, boom, it's kids, wife, me getting all kinds of decorations out of the basement, putting it up. I almost wanted to put a picture of my house in here for you guys just to see, I could show you how serious I am about this time of year. I mean, I got full on, like, decked out, front, sides, back, full-on lights. My wife calls me a light snob because it has to be LED. It just has to be. I got my neighbors 3 weeks ago. I was climbing up on the ladder to the top of the roof, putting on my lights. My neighbor Shane yells out, "Hey Clark," if you get what I'm saying. I mean, that's how serious I am about this. And for me, this season is all about that. It's all about the Christmas, the family, the friends. I mean, it's just awesome. However, it also can be the season for a lot of people of stress. I mean, not for me. I just don't get that because I love it so much. But when we look at it, and some of you know where I'm going with this, is it can be stressful time of year because there's so much going on. You're planning, different events, different family get-togethers, shopping, gifts. I mean, all these things, and people can get stressed and they can become fatigued, and some people even get depressed. When we look at trying to tie this in, my approach today with you all is this is going to be more of a specialized approach, or more of just a fun way to look at we're going to look at actually 2 supplements today that are kind of specialized in nature and really looking at how it can be part of this solution in this time of year, not only because it's the holiday season, but other factors we're going to look at, really give an opportunity to look at some other products that can be of good benefit to members and clients. So when we talk about the season for stress, definitely something that can impact a lot of people. The next one is getting sick. This is the season for bugs, gosh darn it. I mean, this is when people get sick. A lot of it, you could debate, is the fact that more and more people are indoors and they're around more people, family, friends, and all that stuff, and it gets passed on, and it's true. This time of year is when people are getting sick. I coach basketball, and in the last week, every practice has been a third of the kids out. And you can tell when something's going around because it starts here with a couple kids, and then all of a sudden it's here, it's the next group of kids, and they're not around, and I got parents come to me, "Oh my gosh, we were laid out for 2 days. We just the whole household was sick." So it's also the season for people getting sick. And then the third thing is it's also wintertime is coming, and that means the day is less long, and that means there's less sun, and people typically, especially in the Midwest, I don't know so much about Kansas, but where I'm at and a lot of the Midwest clubs, people are less active outside because, gosh darn, it's cold and you don't have as much sun. And one of the things we get out of the sun is what? Vitamin D. So we're going to kind of take that as the next step here when we look at this is the season for this particular product, especially right now, is a great product to talk about. And so let's dig into that. Let's talk about vitamin D. Most of you are probably familiar with vitamin D, but what is it? I mean, it's a fat-soluble nutrient. So that's the first thing as far as what it is. Now, fat-soluble means that's how it needs fat. It's how it's absorbed. It's stored and removed from the body. So that's, in and of itself, the high-level view. Now, the primary role of what vitamin D does, most of you know this, it's all about the bone. So it helps facilitate the absorption of calcium and phosphorus, which is basically how it promotes the strength and mineralization of the bone. That is the primary role right there. But if you dig into vitamin D further, there's other great value to it. It's called the sunshine vitamin. It's 80 to 90% of vitamin D that we get is from the sun. So incredible how the sun rays, they hit the body underneath the surface of the skin, converts into this cholesterol derivative that is transformed into vitamin D, which the body uses. I mean, that just blows your mind. But the sun is where you get it. Now, certainly you can get it through food, but it's usually 10% of vitamin D that you get is through food. And probably the best source of vitamin D, if you don't know, is cod liver oil. Now, I don't think a lot of us are going to be running around eating a ton of cod liver oil or taking in cod liver oil. It just doesn't sound that good. Or fatty fish in general. But the point there is, it's got to come from the sun. That's the majority of the way you get it. Now, certainly, there's big things now where you got fortified milk with vitamin D and things like that, and it's recognized as one of the most important vitamins that your body needs. But again, the majority of it comes from the sun. And when we talked about some of those things that we looked at with less sun and less people being active outdoors, and even things like people covering up from the sun and adding sunscreen, and it may not be as common as you think, But if you look at the research, the amount of vitamin D deficiency that there is now is gone up because of some of these things. So it's important to make sure that we have such a crucial vitamin like this. But when we look at the benefits of it, this is what I think, especially this time of year, is such a great thing, is combating fatigue. We talked about people being stressed. Now, stress doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be tired, but it can impact how you feel. It could make you more tired. It could affect your ability to want to go work out, which we know if you're going to deal with stress, you know this. You guys know. I mean, what's one of the best things you do? Work out, right? Physical activity. I mean, that helps with regulating stress. But also things like taking a vitamin D can help combat fatigue, especially during this time of year. Support immunity. The one thing with vitamin D is it does affect the cells of the immune system. We talk about like B cells, T cells, it increases your autoimmunity. It is a great nutrient that can help boost people's immune system. Also increase muscle strength. A lot of people don't associate vitamin D with that, but what that does is it helps regulate neuromuscular function. Now, you probably can tell by that word, that means nervous and muscular system. And if you are deficient in vitamin D, a lot of the things you're going to feel is you're going to have a lower level of strength, possibly feel weak, you're going to have weakness, and can lead to muscle wasting. And then blood sugars is one thing that is not really up here, but if you look at a lot of the research now, vitamin D helps regulate insulin levels. So vitamin D3 is a great one. I love talking about this one because especially around the clubs around here that we work with, it's incredible how much vitamin D people are after, going into stores and looking for, because they understand that, hey, this can help me with fatigue and mood and all those wonderful things. It's incredible how much they actually add on to the supplement sale as far as offering it. And it's an easy retail play because it's our most inexpensive product. But again, when you look at the benefits of it, especially again around this time of year, it's a great product to showcase, and you'll probably run into it if you ask a lot of people. They're, especially now this time of year, they're taking a vitamin D. So that's one of the ones I want to talk about. The next one is the greens. And many of you know this is my personal favorite product. This is a great product this time of year, but let's talk about what it is first. It is greens, meaning that there's 30 plus superfoods in this thing, highly concentrated. If you remember, this has 6 grams of those 30 superfoods, which is highly concentrated. It has the wheatgrass, the kale, the vegetables, the fruits, all dialed into this concentrated powder. That's what it is. Now, the benefit to this particular product and why I wanted to stick it right here as far as timing of when we talk about shortages and timing of being that we are in the holiday season and winter and all that good stuff is you take it for a couple different reasons. Now, I personally, if you've tried it, you know where I'm going to go with this, or if you've heard me talk about it, first thing that I absolutely love about this product is I just feel great. When you dump that much goodness in, you feel you feel it. You feel that natural buzz of energy and focus. A lot of people also notice that when they take it, and especially for people that have that holiday stress and they're trying to get something that gives them a boost and helps them feel better and focused. Great product for that. So the greens can help increase energy levels without a ton of the stimulant side of things. Boost immune system. This is huge. What this time of year can bring. A lot of people being sick and things like that. Why not put a ton of good stuff in your body that helps promote a better working and functioning immune system? Greens is a great way to do that. Balance out blood sugars, detoxify, promote wellness. I mean, these are all the key things that we could talk about as the benefits of the greens. Now, you could do 1 scoop, with water, juice, or, most people do it with a protein powder because you guys are probably familiar. This isn't the greatest tasting thing that there is. I mean, I love it in water. I do it in water, but some people need to do it in their protein powder, and that's fine. As far as how many times you can take this, some days I do 2 or 3 scoops. That's just me. I'm just crazy. I'm crazy on the greens. But it's a nice product to throw in there to promote the benefits of the increased energy levels, the focus, the building up the immune system, detoxifying the body. Because if you're stressed, there's certain things that can happen in the body that make it less likely to be able to function at its peak level. Greens is a great one. I do want to finish off the greens with a little bit more of in the know, because it has the wheatgrass, the kale, the fruits and vegetables and all that, but there's components of those plant-based products that make this what is the benefit to it. And the first one's phytonutrients. And that's a key thing we talk about with the greens. And I'm sure you guys aren't going to run out into the club after this call and go up to your members of class, hey, get on some phytonutrients. You need all these phytonutrients. But to know what it is important as far as what this product is valuable for. And phytonutrients, they're the natural chemical part of the plant. Now, they're not essential. Like vitamins and minerals, we need those for life. Phytonutrients, they're for plants. But they impact and positively can impact our body when we eat or drink them. They can help prevent diseases, make sure the body's functioning as optimal as possible by taking in those phytonutrients. So there's a lot of value to that chemical structure that's found in the plants. Now the next component is polyphenols, which the main thing I want you to think of is with these is they're more like antioxidants. So we're talking about protecting the body from free radical damage. And the benefit, if you've heard me talk about the greens before, that's why I love taking the greens, is because if I can dump a ton of antioxidants and these nutrients in my body, and being a survivor of cancer, I don't ever want to go through that again. So if I can minimize the likelihood of cancer growing or future issues or anything like that, I'm all in. I'm going to do that. So antioxidants are huge for protecting the body. And then reduce muscle pain and inflammation. That's another benefit to polyphenols as well. So that's the other one. And then finally, the last thing we talk about, which is where a lot of people think about with the greens, is they're alkalinizing, meaning that they're balancing out the pH level. When you're taking in those leafy greens, that, you know, whether you eat them, blend them up, or drink them in a powder type format, it helps reset the body's pH level. And this is where I believe you really feel this product, is because when you're able to do that, you're going to notice it and you're going to feel good. Because most people nowadays are acidic. And that's just because of things like stress, pollution, toxins, processed foods, types of things we eat, sugar, juices, grains. All these things make our bodies more run the line of acidic versus more of a balanced pH level where the body wants to be. If you could balance out that pH levels, you're going to have a body that's more functioning on a better level, and you're going to feel better, energy and focus wise. So that's one of the powers of the greens that are in it. And there's a lot of great research. I think I shared this with you guys on a training a long time ago. I think it was when we did the product challenge, where I showed you that research on taking greens and the effect it has on the pH level. So there's really good research on that. So this is a great product to be able to offer people that want to pick me up, want to put a ton of goodness in their body, protect their themselves as much as possible from getting sick, or at least improving their immune system and detoxifying. And then the vitamin D is also a great product this time of year as well. So that's the direction I wanted to take today, was do something a little bit different, addressing shortages as far as this time of year, what does it bring to us? I hope it brings a lot of joy to you guys, because I love this time of year. But let's face it, there are a lot of people out there that are stressed, that are likely to get sick at some point in this holiday season or this winter for sure. People aren't outdoors as much as have been because it's getting cold and the day isn't as long. And all these things are just another way to look at a specialized approach to offer supplements. Now, as you can see from today with these two particular products, personally, they're great products and they're benefits to what we just talked about, but they're a little bit different than what we've been addressing with the vitamins, the protein, the meal, and those key, huge shortages of lack of time, busy, lack of preparation, and lack of knowledge. But when we talk about supplements, it's nice to kind of veer off that path for a little bit and look at a couple products that are a specialized approach to be able to offer people. So that's what I wanted to do today. Hopefully you got something out of it. As always, I appreciate you guys jumping on the training calls.